Okay, so in this lecture we will basically go with the transistor working as an amplifier. Okay, so here we know, like, transistor need to be working in active mode, then the transistor can be worked as an amplifier. Okay, so here active mode of transistor will result into the amplifier application. Okay, so if we are going to use a transistor as an amplifier, we need to make sure like the transistor is working in active mode. Okay, so active mode exists in either common base configuration, common emitter configuration, or common collector configuration. So any of these three configurations can be used to design an amplifier through the BJT that is working in active mode. Okay, so for so basic understanding, we will just going with the common base configuration for implementing an amplifier. So for that, the basic circuit that we will be going with is, so a common base configuration we need to implement. So here this is a PNP transistor. Okay, so here it is P, this is N, and this is P. So this is input side, so it will be forward bias. So here positive and negative voltage will be applied. So this voltage is, this is on emitter side, so it is given by, like, it is VEE. Okay, so the emitter current will be flowing from P side to N side. Okay, this is the direction, conventional direction of the current flowing, so this will be the emitter current direction. So if this is the emitter current direction, the base current direction will be this way, and the collector current direction will be this. So with respect to the emitter current, respective collector current we will be getting. So this collector current will be passed through a resistor. This resistor is the collector resistor. Across this collector resistance, we will be getting the output, that is V output. Okay, and this side, that is the output side, should be biased in reverse bias. So this is P. So here for reverse biasing, we need to apply negative side. Okay, so this is negative and this is positive, and this voltage is VCC. This is collector side, so it is named as VCC. Okay, so this is the normal DC biasing to the circuit. So this DC biasing is required to make sure the transistor is biased into the active mode. Okay, so we can just write like DC biasing is required to bias the BJT and respective mode of operation. Okay, so this is like we have just biased the transistor into the active mode. Now once it is biased in active mode, we will be providing an input. So that input will be an AC input. So okay, so in this input side we need to provide an AC input also. Okay, so this AC input will be like, we will be connecting a capacitor through to the input side, and we will be providing an input. So here that input is like Vi. So this Vi is an AC input. Here it is there, AC input will be there. So this is an AC input. So with respect to that AC input, so AC input is like, it is continuously changing with respect to time. So AC input is somewhat like sinusoidal. So this is, at this point it is having this value, some other time it is having some other value. Okay, so it is varying with time. Okay, so time varying input will be provided in this way. So as capacitor we have applied, so capacitor will be like, it is going to pass the AC input, it will be stopping the DC component. This capacitor filter capabilities we have already seen into the filter circuit part. Okay, so here this will be used to provide the AC input. Okay, so this is the complete circuit we will be going with. Okay, so now we will start with the its analysis, like how it is going to be analyzed. Okay, So here the we already seen like the input side will be the function of uh, emitter to base voltage like VBE. So VBE here will be in terms of the input voltage. It will be in terms of input voltage, whatever input voltage AC input we are providing. So at fixed operating point, so what happens like at fixed operating point, the DC configurations will be constant. At that time, a fixed uh, operating point, whatever change in input will be there, that is AC input. Okay, so AC will be changing, but the DC biasing will be fixed. So whatever change in AC input is there, with respect to that, there will be some change in the voltage across this emitter to base terminal. Okay, so emitter to base, across this emitter to base uh, terminal, there will be some voltage change because of this input voltage changing. So this will result into the current. So okay, so this will result into the change in current, input current, and this input current change will be resulting the similar change in the output current. And with respect to output current, so output voltage is dependent on output voltage, output current. So overall the output voltage will also be changing as we are going to change the input voltage. Okay, so this is how it is going to be changed. We will just see. So here we have made like the transistors are going to be working as an active mode. Okay, so for active mode we need to bias like the collector junction should be reverse bias and emitter junction should be forward bias. So we have just considered like we have provided the DC biasing to make sure like this condition is satisfied. This condition is satisfied by basically the DC biasing. So whatever VE and VCC we have provided, these two voltages are sufficient to bias the BJT in this configuration. Okay, like in active mode. So if this is the case, like it is common base configuration is there and it is biased in active mode. So for common base, we know like for common base, if it is working in active mode, then the output current, that is IC, will be the function of alpha times IE. Okay, plus some leakage current, that is ICO, or this leakage current is also known as ICBO. Okay, so ICO we generally frequently call it. Okay, this is the case, but this can be approximated to the value that is equals to IE. That means for simplicity, we just take like the IC is directly proportional, or IC is equals to alpha times IE for simplicity, because ICO is very less. Okay, that will be in microampere. Okay, and this is in milliampere. This is in microampere and this is in milliampere. So the value of ICO is basically neglected. So IC will be equals to alpha times IE. Okay, this we can put it as equation number 1. Okay, so in the case of like uh, for the input side, for input side for input side we can just see, for input side we have, this is the PNP transistor, and this input side is biased in forward region. Okay, this is forward region. So it is forward region is nothing but a forward bias diode. It is nothing but like a forward bias diode is there. If it is forward bias diode, the current will be flowing in that direction, that is ID, similar to this way. So in forward case the current is flowing in this way. So it is similar to the input side is similar to the forward bias diode. Okay, so we can just write like the for input side uh, JE is similar to forward bias diode. Okay. So in case of forward bias diode, if we are providing an EC input to a forward bias diode, then there will be a resistance across this diode. So that resistance across the diode is given by the dynamic resistance. So in case of diode, we have already seen the static and dynamic resistance. Okay, so static resistance was when we are providing the DC input to the diode, but here in the amplifier case we are providing, along with this DC, we are providing the AC also. Okay, so as we are providing the AC input to the diode, there will be a dynamic resistance. Okay, so for AC input, dynamic resistance of diode, that is RD, is basically given by like change in VD divided by change in ID. So whatever voltage across this VD is there, so whatever uh, voltage is there, change in voltage divided by change in current. Okay, so this is change in voltage divided by change in current. This change is basically because of change in the AC input signal. Okay, so similarly in case of common base case, the dynamic resistance that is given by RD in case of diode. Similarly in case of BJT, the dynamic resistance is given by like RE. Okay, it will be given by like RE. So this RE is equals to RD like a diode, and this value is equals to neta times VT by ID. Okay, so this was the case in case of uh, diode. Okay, it is neta times VT by ID, but in case of BJT, this will be RE is equals to neta times Vt divided by IE. The forward current is the emitter current. Okay, so this will be the Re. So this Re is considered as the emitter resistance. It is called, Re is called emitter resistance. So this emitter resistance is uh, also called as the dynamic resistance or incremental resistance. So this incremental resistance is because of the AC applied. There will be some change in AC. So with respect to that, there will be some change in uh, VD and ID also. So with respect to that, there will be the dynamic resistance. So this will be the resistance offered by the emitter side. Okay, so this is emitter resistance. Okay, and VT we already know it is thermal voltage. So it is given by like, so VT is given by T divided by 11,600, and this is given in volt. Okay, and Vt is equals to 26 millivolt at room temperature. We have already seen. So room temperature is 300 degree Kelvin. Okay, so this and here IE will be your DC biasing current. So once we have IE, that is DC biasing current, we know the VT. So with respect to that, we can get the emitter resistance. Okay, so generally in case of silicon, what we are going to do is we are considering the neta value is equals to 1. So RE will be VT by IE. Neta value is considered to be 1. Okay, so here for a typical value, the Re, that is emitter resistance, the typical value of Re is basically ranges between 25 to 100 ohm. Okay, so it ranges between 25 to 100 ohms. Okay, so on the input side we have considered the input uh, resistance or the emitter resistance basically. So once we have the input resistance or the emitter resistance, now what we are going to do is we are going to change the AC values. Okay, so when there is some change in AC input, so when AC input, that is Vi is there, when AC input Vi is applied to the common base configuration system, when we have applied the AC input, as Vi increases, suppose Vi, because Vi is time varying, so suppose Vi is going to increase. Okay, so suppose Vi is increases by delta Vi. Okay, so if there is a small change in Vi, that is delta Vi, then this delta Vi will result in IE increase by delta IE, and similarly IC increase by delta IC. Okay, so as delta IE is the change in emitter current because of the change in the applied AC input, the input voltage change. So there will be some input voltage change. So whatever input voltage we have just considered, like suppose VBE is the input voltage across this emitter to base junction side. So as there is current is going to increase, there will be an input voltage will be changing. So that input voltage will also be change in input voltage will be given by like change in emitter current multiplied by emitter resistance. So we can just write it like, so delta Vi change in input voltage because of the change in this AC input value is given by like change in input voltage will be equals to delta IE multiplied by RE. Okay, so suppose this is equation number 2. Okay, so this is change in input voltage. Okay, so by equation 1 that we have already defined for the collector current equation, so by equation 1 above that we have defined, if we put this change, so IC plus delta IC, so total IC current, that is IC plus delta IC, will be equals to alpha times total IE current. Okay, this is because of the equation 1 where IC is equals to alpha times IE. So we will just putting here, so from there we can just see like IC, change in IC is given by like change in alpha times IE. So this is alpha change in IC is going to be alpha times change in IE. Okay, so we already know like as output voltage is given by IC into RC, therefore there will be some change in output voltage also. So the change in output voltage will be given by change in IC into RC. So this is alpha times delta IE into RC. This is given by like by equation 3 we can just get this. Okay, so change in V output is given by this value. Okay, so finally this change in output voltage is given by alpha times change in IE multiplied by RC. This is question number 4. So by equation 2 and 4, if we want to find out the gain, okay, so the gain will be given by like gain is represented by A, and if this gain is voltage gain, then it will be represented by A subscript V. AV will be the voltage gain. So voltage gain is change in output voltage divided by change in input voltage. So by putting the values from equation 2 and 4, we can get the gain AV will be given by like change in IE, sorry, the output divided by input is there. So it is alpha times change in IE multiplied by RC divided by IE into RE. Sorry, it is small RE. Okay, so this delta IC will be changed, cancelled. So gain will be given by alpha times RC divided by RE, small RE, that is okay. So as this alpha is approximately equals to 1 in case of common base, so this gain will be like function of RC divided by RE for alpha equals to 1, as the alpha is equals to 1. Okay, so this will be the value of gain. Okay, so here the gain we can just see like the gain is the function of uh, the collector resistance, that is RC, divided by the RE, that is the emitter resistance or the input resistance that is provided by the input circuit. Okay, so suppose RC is equals to 3 kilo ohm and RE, that typical value ranges between we have already seen the typical value of RE is going to be ranging between 25 to 100 ohms. So RE suppose is having 40 ohms. So by putting these values we can get like the AV will be given by 3000 divided by 40. So it is equals to 75. Okay. Okay. So 75, that is very greater than 1. So as the gain is coming out to be AV and this gain is coming out to be 75, that is very greater than 1. So this implies that as the gain is very greater than 1, this implies that the circuit is operating as an amplifier. Okay, so from there we can just conclude like the circuit is being working as an amplifier circuit. Okay, so this is how the amplifier works with the help of a BJT. So we need to bias the BJT such that it should be working in active mode, like its collector junction should be reverse biased and its emitter junction should be forward biased. Okay, so if we have make sure the transistor is working in active region, then we can obtain such a relation that the gain will be like very much greater than the 1. So the amplification can be obtained by the BJT, use of BJT. Okay, so here we can just conclude some points from here. Okay, so if we conclude some point, we can just write like the gain. So here, so as the gain formula, that is AV was alpha times RC by RE. This was the gain. So we can just conclude that the gain depends on alpha. Okay, so alpha, that is current amplification factor, or in case of common emitter it will be beta, in case of common collector it will be gamma. So the gain depends on alpha, beta and gamma parameters, and also on RC and RE. Okay, so it depends on these parameters, but alpha, beta and gamma, these parameters are the parameters that does not uh, these parameters cannot be changed by the user. We can just write like uh, it is independent of user, means user cannot change alpha, beta and gamma parameters. Once the circuit is implemented, the alpha, beta, gamma values will be fixed. Okay, so user cannot change it, but user can change the value of RC. So for designing points of view, for an amplifier designing, the RC will be the main parameter that the user can change. So here this is basically the user dependent parameter is there. Okay, so this is user dependent parameter. So this user dependent parameter is such that once we are going to change the RC, the output voltage will also be changing. So that means user can change the RC value. So in terms of designing point of view, the user will be able to change the value of RC, and then the designing can be done according to the specification given. Whatever specification is given, like what is the gain required, so based on that we can change the RC value. Okay, so here in case of a transistor, basically we will be getting voltage gain, or we can get the current gain also. Okay, and also we can get the power gain. Power gain means voltage gain multiplied with current gain, that will be like power gain. So these can be obtained basically by using an amplifier. So all these type of gains we can get from an amplifier. Okay, so here we are studying basically the transistor. Okay, so transistor, it's if we simplify these two words, we can just write like it is transfer register. It is transfer register. Okay, transistor stands for transfer register. Okay, so here we can just see in case of gain, this gain is dependent on two resistance values. So one is this value is output resistance side, this is the output side resistance, we can just write like output side resistance, and this is the input side resistance. Okay, so that means the input side resistance is going to be transferred to the output side resistance. Okay, or the amplification, we can just write like the amplification takes place, we can just write like amplification takes place when resistor is being transferred from input side to the output side. If we are able to transfer the input resistance to the output side, there will be an amplification taking place. Okay, So this is how the transistor came, like transfer of register is going to be taking place, then that will be used for an amplification purpose. Okay, if suppose we want to implement an if we want to implement an attenuator circuit, so attenuator means whatever input we are providing, the attenuated version of the output will be obtained. Okay, so that attenuation will be obtained based on the RC value. So whatever RC value we are getting, so gain is basically given by this concept. So if we are able to make sure this RC is going to be smaller than RE, then the output that we will be obtaining is the attenuated version of the input. Okay, because the gain will be less than 1. If the gain is less than 1, then the output that we will be getting in is an attenuated. So if an attenuator is to be designed, then RC should be made smaller to RE. Okay, so if we are going to make the attenuated circuit, we will be going to make RC less than the RE. Okay, so this the same circuit can be working as an amplifier and also can be working as an attenuator also. So for an amplifier, we need to make sure like the RC value is greater than the RE value. Okay, so that RC value should be sufficiently high so that we will be getting some higher gain greater than one value. Okay, so this is all about the amplifier circuit. So the next topic that we will be going to discuss is basically the biasing of this transistor circuit for amplification purposes. So here we have assumed like we have biased or we have applied this DC supplies such that this transistor is going to be working in active region, but this is not the case every time. Okay, so we need to make sure like how we are going to provide the DC voltages so that our transistor is going to be biased in uh, active region. Okay, so that it is working as a amplifier. So to provide this condition of biasing, there is a concept of transistor biasing. Okay, so the next topic that we will be going with is transistor biasing.